In the previous tutorial, I showed you how to create multiple instances of an object and create pathfinding so that you can go to each one in turn and go and collect them. In this bonus tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make our little creatures move around the screen and still calculate the shortest path. If you'd like to join me over at Teach All About It, you can join me for the full iMedia games design course, or you can come over and find individual tutorials. But for now, let's go and find out how to make our spiders move. So in the last tutorial, we had all of our objects created and we had our object of collectible. Now our object of collectible is here and we have some events that are going to make it move. I'm going to start with our create event. So in the create event, this is when the actual game starts and when it first appears on the screen. We're going to create a random number, and this is going to create us a random angle in which to move. In order to create a random number that actually is random, we need to use the randomize function. And then we're going to get a random integer. Now, our integer is a whole number. So we are going to go from 1 to 360. And I've created a little temporary variable here called underscore angle. I've called it underscore angle because angle is actually one of the built-in variables. So the little underscore makes it mine. Then I'm going to use that random angle to set a direction variable. That means that when a little object collectible or a little spider is created on the screen, as soon as it starts, it's just going to go in a random direction. And then we're going to set the speed. Now the speed over here is 1. I'm not going to make them very fast at this stage. I want to keep everything at a nice slow speed so that we can track where things are going. And that's it for the creation. You set your speed, you set your direction, and we've made it random. Then we're going to go into the step event. You can see there's nothing in there for now. We're going to use that later to allow them to interact with other objects. When our object interacts with a wall, so those are the things that you saw around the side. Let's go and have a look in room 1. Those are the walls. This is also a wall, so any one of those objects, when it collides with that, what we're going to do is we are going to set the direction to be essentially reversed. So 180 relative will essentially add 180 to whatever you're in, and it will essentially turn around. Then we're going to set an alarm. Now, an alarm allows you to pause for a small amount of time. I want to pause for just 10 frames. That's not even a second. It's a third of a second. And what's going to happen is a third of a second later, I'm going to call another random number, and then I'm going to send it off in a completely different direction. Now, the reason for having that slight pause is that it allows it to bounce and then go off in another direction. This stops me from getting caught into a wall. So this is going to allow us to bounce. And the only other thing we want to do is in our collision with our object of walker is what we saw last time, which is to destroy ourselves if we get caught. So a reminder there, we're going to set a random direction. We're going to go off in that direction. We've already set our speed to 1. If we hit a wall, we bounce in the opposite direction. But in order to do that, what we do is we're going to go backwards, wait a short period of time, and then go in a random direction again. So if we run this now, without any changes to our pathfinding, you can see here it's recalculating the path to our objects as they move. And we've got a bit of a chase going on around here. You can see that wobbly line is allowing us to chase our objects. And off it goes along there. Now, our spiders are not actively running away at this stage. We just have random movement. And that one there is going to get caught very, very shortly when it bounces, and our walker is then going to stop. And there you have some pathfinding, and random movement.